But Metageeks.
No, that's the ending. You gotta save that for the end.
Shit! Metageeks.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
No, that's
Metageeks.
copyrighted.
That's copyrighted.
And now we've been sued. Thank you.
Okay,
Shit.
this channel's been discontinued.
Don't worry, Tim is our expert on copyright.
Yeah, we're fucking screwed.
Shit.
That is a jingle. That's not a song. We can't get away with 30 seconds of a jingle.
We get
If it was a song, we would have been
30
okay.
mil.
If it was a song, we'd have been fine. But that was
30
a jingle.
milliseconds of a jingle we got.
I don't even think it's that. I think if you go, but we're fucked.
But no, that's the only part you can use
But
because you have
don't you dare go.
you have
now
like
we're
6 seconds of normal material, but this is a jingle, so you get like 1 syllable.
Are we actually ready to start?
I've been ready to start.
I
I'm
tried
bored.
to start. You said that was wrong.
I'm bored
Tim
already.
threw us fucking off again with the jingle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metageeks, and there's the jingle
Metageeks.
again.
Hello, everybody. We're trying something different. We're here to talk about.
The birds and the bees.
Hello, everybody. We're here to talk about. We've been trying to start
Oh, we are.
for the last 10 minutes.
I thought we
It's been
started.
about 30 minutes.
We're gonna try something different today. We're gonna talk about Infinity War in podcast form.
Oh, there will be so many spoilers.
All
So
the
many
spoilers.
All
I
the
mean,
spoilers.
if someone's gonna click on something about Infinity War and not expect spoilers, they're in the wrong.
You can just make sure you put spoilers in the.
No, maybe you wanted the like Spark Notes, and then all of a sudden you got the whole synopsis of the movie, and then you cried because you didn't think that's what you clicked on.
Look, spoilers, obviously.
Not to mention the fact that by the time this video actually comes out, if you haven't seen it, it's your own damn fault.
And if you complain in our comment section that we spoiled it, it's your own damn fault too. Because again, spoilers.
Wait 1 second, I gotta put a comment on the video.
It's not even up yet. How are you doing that?
How is he doing that? So yeah, we're gonna talk about Infinity War. Our feelings
I'm
on
in.
it, our likes, dislikes. Pro-
Hacker boys.
Probably some comparisons to the comic, and probably where the future goes from here.
Can I? I didn't know we were talking about feelings.
See, when
I
I was
wasn't
little, my
prepared.
dad.
I mean, there were a lot of
I
feelings.
wasn't prepared to talk about my feelings today. It
Daniel,
all started when I was a child.
It all started when a tree spermed in my nose.
That's about right. That's exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah.
that's when my tree fetish came out.
Welcome to spring, kids.
So
When allergies go bad.
eventually we're going to talk about Infinity War.
All right, let's get to the gold. So I think Infinity War was good.
10 out of 10.
All right. Well, that was it. Thank you for.
All right, thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
See you next time for where we talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I don't know about that one. That one worries me.
You
But
worry
no,
me.
okay. So I freaking loved it. I
It
mean,
was
I
good.
I loved how it wasn't what I expected.
I thought it was.
What
okay.
were you expecting?
I don't know. I was expecting to go in, it to be long and drawn out.
For some reason, I was expecting it to kind of be like, if I was to watch the Mario Brothers movie again,
I don't know.
that's what I expected it to be.
I mean, I kind of.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
No, I mean, I kind of expected how Civil War was, where it wasn't even close to what really happened.
I mean, it was a war, and there was some fighting.
I mean, with Civil War,
it was
I
Batman.
understand you couldn't. Did you see Batman?
I said Captain America.
I thought you said
You tried
it
very
was
hard.
Batman versus Captain America. It was so weird.
Honestly, I kind of want to see that.
Batman would win.
Wait, how much prep time does Batman get? Is it just a spur of the moment, like out
I
of
think
nowhere?
Batman would still win, actually. I
I
don't.
think Batman could win.
I think Captain America has a bit of fight in him.
Wait, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah,
now.
we are getting so
We're
sorry.
getting-
So, anyways, I was expecting it to be kind of like Civil War, where it wasn't anywhere close. I mean, it was still good. Civil War was still good.
Well, have you read or seen anything about the original event comic Infinity Gauntlet?
No.
This is like Civil War. It's not close at all.
I know it's not close, but I mean,
I'm just for the record, I'm in here with absolutely
Tim-
no comic book
Yeah.
experience. I've only seen the movies.
Tim
so-
up here, yes. Tim is our average Joe,
I'm
never
your
seen
man.
the comics,
Your dude.
only movies.
The guy.
Me and Daniel have a little
The
more
man,
comics
the myth,
experience.
the legend, Tim.
see, I don't know
Goddamn.
specifics so much as
I
I know more.
I've
About,
read.
like,
I've read more.
overlay.
I probably read more events. I've seen reviews of Infinity Gauntlet. I have more of that.
I'm pretty much your Spider-Man guy.
I am the I got up this morning and I came here. That's me.
All right.
I mean,
So-
same for me.
That's where my
Anyways,
area of expertise lies.
I like how they did bring everybody in, and you can't say your favorite character didn't get,
Good screen time.
unless your favorite character was Hawkeye, in which case.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he-
I like
he got-
Thanos.
There were some behind the scenes pictures of
I thought
Hawkeye.
Thanos was pretty cool.
I actually like how Thanos has always been a good villain, though.
Yeah.
Thanos has been.
He's been like he's the dark side of
I
Marvel,
don't
and I'm
know,
pretty sure.
I can't really say that my favorite character
Well-
got too totally ribbed because my favorite character in the movie was Thanos. But
Well, I believe Thanos is based on some part on dark side
Actually, I think it's
because I believe dark side came first, then Thanos.
sorry, who?
Darkseid. He's
He's
DC.
the OG bad guy of
Darkseid
Oh,
is.
is that like the Superman bad guy, Darkseid?
Darkseid. Well, Darkseid
No, that was
is.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's Apocalypse.
Oh right.
Darkseid
Not
is the
close.
guy that had to form the Justice League to beat.
No, that was that was his uncle.
Oh my God, you're a nerd.
Is that
It
his
fucking
uncle?
yeah.
His uncle. No, sorry, I'm sorry. That was my uncle.
No, have you seen the movie Justice League?
Fuck no, I haven't seen the movie Justice League.
I know the synopsis is it's not Darkseid who they fight. They fight someone.
I watched Batman versus Superman and watched Batman kill all those people, and I was like, nope, that's not Batman. I'm not watching any more of this. I'm done.
No, in Justice League, I just know the synopsis. It's not Darkseid. If it was Darkseid, I would have been like never again with DC movies because he was too early. Anyway,
No, see, I'm not even talking about the movie. I'm just talking about Darkseid in general.
oh,
That's why they formed the Justice League in
Oh.
the comics.
I thought you were. I was like, what?
I thought. I mean, I might be mistaken. I'm more of a Marvel guy
Probably.
than DC.
I know the animated movie they did.
I know the Justice League had to fight Shao Kahn, or is that only in the game?
That's
know what you're talking
Mortal
about.
Kombat.
I have
Right.
no idea what you're talking
Right.
about.
Anyway, Infinity War.
Oh, well, the Superman was in that game.
That's the worst Mortal Kombat game there was.
Hey, I thought it was pretty good. You can fight me.
I will.
In
Rip on your
Mortal Kombat.
fucking spine. Anyway.
Mortal Kombat 9.
Off topic.
Yeah, you're right.
Getting back on topic. Thanos, probably the best villain Marvel has had since, for me, Killmonger and
You liked Killmonger?
I enjoyed Killmonger.
I don't know.
I
I,
mean,
thought Killmonger was
I
really
like-
lackluster as a villain.
I could see where he's coming from. I could see why he kind of did what he did.
Well, I mean, I like Killmonger's backstory.
Yeah.
Where he come from and all that stuff. But him as a bad guy, it just wasn't.
I feel like the final battle was a little anticlimactic.
I don't know. I heard a lot of like backstories like Killmonger's, like just on a storyboard point of view, which is why I thought Killmonger's backstory was still pretty lackluster. Like, I could understand kind of the feeling that would make you the bad guy in that situation.
I just
But
I just for me I liked him, but my problem more was you kind of just saw a jump.
in my book,
Like you saw what happened in the past with his dad, and then jumped to him being like, "Fuck Wakanda, I'm gonna rule," and
but in
take
my
over the
book,
world.
he basically was playing on a cliche, and I didn't really like it too much. Not because I'm like unsympathetic towards that like cause. It's just on a storyboard point of view, from the stories that I've heard, from the movies I've seen, from the books I've read, it's a pretty
what's the cliche?
coming from the hood. Now, of course, it was a little bit different because his dad was Wakandan. By the way, that's spoilers for a different movie.
Like if you haven't seen
Well,
Black Panther yet,
spoilers for any Marvel movie.
Any movie that we were going to
Honestly,
bring up
if
has
we go-
spoilers.
Red
But-
Skull was in Infinity War and he died in Captain America, and you go, spoiler for Captain America. I'm gonna go.
Die, though.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't die.
Do you not know what the Tesseract does?
Not fully.
The
Apparently.
Tesseract is the space Infinity Stone.
Okay.
What it does is it literally can jump from any point to space. All it did was it teleported him.
No, of course it.
Now I
went
kind
into
of
the Soul Stone.
now I
which think
kind
is
of want
where
to know
Infinity-
how he got from being I guess teleported to where he was.
All the Infinity Stones are connected.
It wouldn't be like
Like
outside
what
the realm
we heard
of
a bit of it
possibility
in
for
the
it to
movie
take him somewhere
was
else.
he went searching for the Soul Stone.
Probably what happened was he got teleported to another place. Was like, what's the Infinity Stones? Oh, wait, the Soul Stone's the most powerful one?
I want
Let's go
that one.
find that one. And then that's what happened.
I believe it. 10
But
out of 10 would watch that movie.
I mean, that was a good like just out of nowhere thing.
I agree. I wasn't
Was
ready for
Red
that.
Skull just out of nowhere being like, "Hey, you want the Soul Stone? You have to listen to me and kind of tell you how this works."
I kind of like that. I agree. But at the same time, can we discuss how I don't think Thanos actually killed half the population?
You had this interesting theory.
Oh, yeah. It was a pretty interesting theory.
I don't think Thanos killed them. I think he simply divided the universe in half.
And made a parallel universe.
Made a parallel universe where half of them are in one universe, the other half. I think a really cool way to start off the next movie, because you know they're making a part 2 of Thanos.
But that's next year.
It'll be after Captain Marvel, which Captain
It's after
Marvel.
Captain Marvel, after Ant-Man and Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp comes out later this year, right? And then
Which-
Captain Marvel comes out early next year.
How much? Like how much do you think they're going to address it in Ant-Man? They're probably going to address it more in Captain Marvel.
I think Ant-Man takes
Wasp.
place before.
It's going to take
Infinity
place
War.
before.
Which I think they've screwed up because so far they've been really good about everything lines up as it comes out.
That was someone else who was in Infinity War.
Yeah, but I think they made point that he was doing this
Oh, while
while
all this was going
all this
on.
was going on. This is what he was doing.
I can see that because what happens in Infinity War kind of happened fast.
So I'm saying I don't think because it really in
I
the
think
grand
entirely it all happened within 24 hours.
I was going to say there really
24
was
to
a
48.
whole hell of a lot of time in that.
Because it was like, because they mentioned in the post-credits scene, which featured Fury and what's her name again?
Oh, I don't remember her name.
It starts with an M.
I know what you're talking about. It's his first mate, pretty much. I don't remember.
His
who
second in
she
command.
was.
She was like, "Hey, we had something about Wakanda. Like
Hashtag Phil was better.
he was, but he's technically dead to the MCU.
Phil. I miss Phil.
Coulson all the way. Coulson lives.
Coulson wins.
Coulson lives.
Phil
Have
Coulson
you
for the
seen
win.
Agents of Shield, Tim?
No.
Hey, we don't talk about that one. No, don't.
It's actually good.
No, we're good.
Now Phil Coulson being included, that's a little, yeah.
That's their only way of it being good.
No, it's actually
Okay, let me rephrase. I've seen the first 2 seasons.
okay. There's your problem. Season 1, apparently, to everybody, isn't that good. It actually gets good in season 2.
Okay, this is Infinity Wars.
But so you think he split the universe in
I think
two?
he split the universe in half. I think what would be really cool way to start the second movie is with the scene of everybody vanishing, but everyone else vanishes.
Oh, like Tony.
Like Tony vanishes
Tony
in
disintegrates.
Spider-Man's arms and goes the other way around. Like
Right.
it divided
No.
the universe in half, and because
I don't think it's like Tony dying in Spider-Man's arms.
No,
I
I'm
think
just
Spider-Man's
being
like lying there, and Tony just disappears. Like Spider-Man's like feeling ill, but he's like gone.
or something like that. I think that would be really cool.
They made damn sure that Spider-Man's death, quote unquote death, to you was the hardest.
It hurt.
Because everybody else, like when they disintegrated, it was more like,
Oh.
oh no. But Spider-Man was like it happened slower, like Mr. Stark, I don't feel good, and you're just like, oh.
But
He's just a babby.
at the same time, I think that would be a really cool way to start it. But I don't see them literally cutting their cast in half. I just feel like that's a dumb like what's the word? Like a dumb director standpoint. Like I don't see like in the second movie, I don't see them being able to make an entire movie or half a movie with half the cast.
Right.
Simply because you've spent all this money to get all these great actors, and then you just killed half of them.
I
And he killed some. They killed some pretty good actors. That's what's getting me. I'm
they
like,
pretty much killed most of
I mean,
the Guardians.
obviously they did not get rid of Tony. They can't get rid of Iron Man. They didn't get rid of Cap yet.
They didn't get rid of Cap, Iron Man. They didn't get rid of Banner. They didn't get rid of Black.
I think Hulk's dead.
You think that
I think it split the Hulk and Banner apart. Because they did a really good job in this movie dividing the line between Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Because in the comics, they are two separate beings.
Right.
Yeah.
There was actually a comic, I don't remember much about this one, because it was one of those that got retconned very quickly. It was like one of the... Marvel has a lot of... DC does a lot of reboots and, all these things. Marvel does a lot of...
Only really two.
DC has a bunch of different universes. Let me rephrase it
Yeah.
that way. DC's got a bunch of different universes.
They have their, what they're called.
The New 52s, they've got all these different...
Well, they have the multiverse. They focus
Right.
more on the multiverse more than Marvel.
Marvel-
Marvel's like,
Marvel
yeah,
usually
there's alternate
delves-
universes and there's the Ultimate Universe, but we kind of don't really focus on that. DC does more like...
Right. Marvel
what
typically
ifs.
delves... If it's a different universe, everything in that universe is different. It's not like... it's not like if Spider-Man was in this universe and he's a kid when he made it to the Avengers, then, everything that's...
Only
in-
times I've seen Marvel really address the multiverse is the latest Secret Wars, the remake of Secret Wars, and the Spider-Verse and the Venomverse.
I was going to say, Spider-Man's really the only one who... You can say there's like 6 or 7 different versions of Spider-Man. Everyone else is typically the same, more or less.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I'm saying is...
So you think there
was a side comic for a while where Bruce Banner and the Hulk gets separated.
like
They are two separate beings.
oh
It wasn't much, and I don't remember a whole lot of the details. I just remember it happening, and then it got retconned really quick, and it never, it might have been one of those. It was one of those what if comics, I think. And
I was thinking you were going like Mr. Gray.
maybe.
Well, that was when the Hulk was intelligent more than what he was in like Ragnarok or
Right.
that he's actually very more well spoken, but he was just gray, and he was kind of stuck like that for a while.
Anyways, but they do. So I'm thinking what happened is when he split the universe in half. Because I mean, technically speaking, he did what he wanted to do.
I feel, for me, on the other side, I think they're dead. That in part 2, they're going to bring him back somehow. Like, someone's going to get a hold of the Time Stone and reverse time just before he did it.
Well,
Like,
see, and
like
I
they
also,
did like they did in the event comic, which is how they fixed everything. I think we'll make comparisons between the comic and the movie later.
which I also think this is the scenario in which Doctor Strange saw.
Yes, I think what he said at the end before didn't he disintegrate too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before he went, he's like, what did he say to Tony?
I don't remember.
This was the only way.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, out of all the millions of timelines he saw, all the million ways this plays out, him giving the Time Stone to Thanos was how they get into the timeline of, oh, this is how, this the timeline we win. This is how we do it. Is I give the Time Stone, because he said early on, he told Tony, look, between you, the kid, and me,
right.
and the stone,
I'm gonna.
I will save the stone. I will get the stone
Right.
from Thanos.
And then
But I
almost
guess-
immediately.
But after that, he went through all the timelines and saw, oh, if I run away, if I keep the stone away from Thanos,
he's gonna kill me and take it anyways.
that's going to put us in the timeline where we lose.
Right.
So him giving it is obviously a point to where he goes, if we're going to win,
Like,
we
this
have
will
to
be the
give him the
timeline
stone.
in which we actually win.
I'm seeing is, I think what Doctor Strange saw is he saw all of them disintegrating, all of them disappearing. He probably saw that happening, but in the timeline where he went, that happens, but something happens afterwards that brings everybody back and they win.
Right.
Maybe. Or he saw. I mean, either way, that one could be right because he could have also seen that they're not actually dying. They're being separated into universes.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel
mean,
like
that could explain...
from a movie standpoint,
It's...
I find it hard to believe they've gotten rid of so many actors that they paid good money to keep.
Well,
unless they pretty much come right back at the beginning of the movie.
See, that's me. I'm on the other side of...
I'm going to be more mad.
I would be happy to see that happen because
like
it's definitely like a big, like, oh shit moment. The next one we see like Spider-Man in like the cinematic version of the Ultimate Universe dealing with the fact that either A, his memory's wiped and he's just there now, but it's just this different world, or B, trying to help people this universe deal with the fact like, oh, we're stuck here in this universe while everybody else is over there.
Well, see, and I don't think they're going to know. So that's the thing that's getting me. I think what it is when they all disintegrated, of course, they didn't do it well if that is the case, because I feel as though if they did, they should have all silently vanished.
It should have been like what people think of Rapturous. You're just gone.
Right. And then, because then you could have had like them looking around trying to figure out where everyone was, and then find out that, then they should...
And a little comparison to the original comic, that's actually how it was. In the original comic, it wasn't like people just disintegrated and disappeared. They were just, snap a finger, just gone. Like a woman's like walking with a kid, she's like, now, her baby's now gone.
Okay, so, on addition to my previous thought, I feel like if they were to split into different universes, I feel like on a cinematic point of view, we shouldn't have two different storylines happening in the same movie, because that will lead in ways for more movies, if that's what they're aiming for, which I'm pretty sure they are at some extent. But
as far as I know, they're done with Thor, Iron Man, Captain America. Well, they're done with Tony, Rogers, and Thor for now.
Right, but I feel like if they are going to expand on like the split, then if the split is what we thought it is going to be, moving on with your theory, I feel like we should have a separate movie for those who aren't dealing with Thanos, unless if Thanos is just done.
I think Thanos would be in both universes.
Maybe he would, but would it, like, if it is going to be a whole new universe, would it be the same Thanos?
Technically speaking, it would be the same Thanos up to the point of which he separated everything.
Right.
In other words, he would have all the same memories, all the same knowledge, everything, up to the point where it's separated. Now, everything that happens afterwards, it would be like the Shadow Clone Jutsu effect. They form their own memories, form their own knowledge, but once they come back together, it should all come together.
Right. So, but
with what... I understand what you're saying, that you should divide it into two separate movies. I think they should have done that with Civil War.
I agree.
I think what they should have done with Civil War, which I think would have been a really cool thing, is come out with technically two sides of the same movie, and then you pick a side.
2 movies?
Well, kind of. Like, you pick... you could have Captain America Civil War, or you can have Iron Man Civil War.
Right, I feel like
and
that
you
would
pick
have
a
been pretty
side,
interesting.
then you go watch it, and you see the side, like, you see their...
Like, every
time they're together,
like, instead of us getting bits and pieces of what Civil War was,
yeah,
like we would get a little bit of Iron Man side, then we'd get a little bit of Captain America sides, then it would go back and forth.
You
if
should
we
get
had
like all of Iron Man's
just Captain
side.
America's whole side or just Iron Man's whole side, I would have probably have felt like a more accomplished.
Right. And then it would have happened, like, it would have ended the same in both movies.
Right, because
but
the event was the same event.
You wouldn't know that going in. Like, when you go in...
I would love that too, but I could see from a company standpoint why they couldn't do that. Just how much it cost to make the one movie, how much it would make to make pretty much a mirror movie.
Because Marvel doesn't have the money. They would have made twice as much money off of...
But
Well,
they
at
would
the same
have to.
time,
They would
how
have to be able to make
movies work.
money.
is-
They would have to exceed both movies. Like, think of it like this: how much how much one movie would cost? Now you have to double it. Now you have
Not
to double
necessarily
how much
double it.
money they have to bring in.
Well,
They
here's
would
the
have
thing,
had
you
to
can
do it
make
again
and
and a
release
half.
one movie first. You can wait to see how well that movie does, and then you can release the other half if that movie does well.
What
now,
they
how
could have
movies
done.
do sequels,
But
is
if
movies will
you-
sit there and they will go and they'll have their one idea. Usually, when movies first start, they'll have this is our movie. They'll spend a certain amount of money on this movie. If the movie makes over twice its the cost of production, then they'll make another one because the last movie was deemed successful. a good example is actually the Mortal Kombat movie. As bad as that movie was, that they only spent $20 million on that movie.
You
They-
can tell.
They got $120 million.
It's true.
But
They grossed $120 million
With
on
that,
the
they
movie.
I think with that case, they would also think we could have Captain America 3, Iron Man 4, but I guess in their mind it's just, oh, we want that slot for another movie to keep up. Like,
Well, the thing is that expanding on the universe, if they wanted to, unless if they have a set deadline where the whole thing, all of it, has to be done, I don't see a reason why they couldn't.
See, what I'm saying is they could have reused some of the scenes in which they're both together.
Right.
Like the fight scene when Iron Man and Cap and Winter Soldier are all fighting. They could reuse that scene again.
Or if you want it to feel like a different movie, you could make different encounters. Like those scenes where they were together.
but for that, they're probably pretty damn expensive for that one scene.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're expensive, but at the same time, depending on how they get to make movies depending on how well their last movie did. The thing is though is that it's Marvel. And because it's Marvel, people will come watch it
Yeah, but
regardless.
we're thinking like
But-
fans.
No,
Look
I'm
at
thinking
how cool
like
it'd be.
No, I'm
producers.
thinking like a producer.
What I'm saying is, you would have to spend. Let's just pretend it cost you. Let's use
Let's work
easy
with
numbers.
small numbers. Like
Yeah, let's use easy numbers. Let's just say like 100 million. Not small numbers.
I was
but
gonna
easy
use really
numbers.
small numbers. I was gonna like 10, but
Well, let's round it off like 100 million. Let's say it cost you $100 million to
it
make
cost
it.
you $100.
$100 to make it. To make Captain America: Civil War. Then you
Actually,
reuse at least probably half the scenes.
yeah, you'd actually cut production cost using.
So the next movie would only cost you $50.
Right.
By the way, Captain America: Civil War was made with $250 million.
That wasn't the point.
That wasn't the point. The
No,
point was I was
I'm
using
putting
numbers
it
as
out there. I'm
examples.
putting it
Yeah.
out there. It's better.
But anyway,
Instead
what
of just
I'm saying
100 million,
is,
let's go with what they gap.
So $250 million.
Yeah.
Just round it off. It cost them $250 million to make the movie. The next movie, which would have been, they would have been able to do Iron Man: Civil War, would have cost them probably half, if less than that.
Right, because
Because they're going to be
have already been shot.
reusing most of it. They're not going to have to rebuild any of the props because they've already got them all. The only thing they're really going to have to do is any of the scenes that they're not together,
Right.
which they had to do anyways.
So they just put it into two.
They just divide it into two movies. Now, I understand you don't want to give us half a movie, but you could easily, with the characters they've already given, easily filled in.
Right. Like another.
And then when
movie's
you
worth.
release the movies, you release them together
Right.
as one movie. And it may not be, probably be a 4-hour movie, give or take, if you watch both sides. Or you could watch a
Compilation.
compilation of the two movies, which was the movie we got.
Right.
Easily just go in and edit the pieces together and put them together the way it was.
But either way, I'm not sure exactly what they were planning to do with Thanos because from what I hear, and the Marvel universe is that the movies
Cinematic universe.
or the cinematic universe is not entirely the same
No,
as
it's not.
the comic universe. That's just from what I hear. But
Very basic
But not-
characterizations, origins, all that.
but not having
You also have to keep in mind the comics have many, 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 many more
Like-
comics to build on.
They
Right,
have like
but-
60 to 75 years of expansion.
what my point is that in Infinity War, even though it was a little sped up, clearly because a lot of content had to be covered in 2 hours. Too bad.
That's bad.
Well, I
It
still
was
like
almost a
not
3-hour
all
movie.
everything was
Really?
covered.
But
Because it's still
they had a lot of ground to cover. That's
it
my
felt
point.
like
But
it was a ramp up. Like it's definitely like a part one. It's definitely like this is just the beginning.
I think
yeah, but still,
what they were
My-
going for was they cannot beat Thanos. They can't do it.
right.
Captain Marvel can.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who Captain Marvel is.
No.
Honestly, I don't know much about
You told
her.
me a little bit about her, but
You know Rogue?
no.
Rogue
Can
from
Can I finish my thought real
yeah,
quick
sorry,
though?
go ahead.
The thing was that even though it was like they had to speed up the process of Thanos getting the Infinity Stones and starting the whole thing to begin with, in the end, Thanos in the end of the movie did exactly what he said he was going to do in the beginning. So
He killed off half the universe.
killed off technically.
We don't know.
It's a theory, but it seems likely to me.
I enjoy theory. I think it would be awesome to pull off.
Well, we'll go for the
But I'm
canon
also
right
gonna-
now. The
I'm gonna
canon
be in
is that
the-
he killed off half
Yeah,
the world.
I'm gonna be on the also kind of just like
So,
they're pretty much for all intents and purposes they're dead.
but
Although I think Loki's gonna come back somehow.
either way,
I don't know
Because-
if anyone who died before
my
Thanos
point-
snapped his fingers will come back.
but anyway, my point here being
It's comics.
Thanos
Well,
had
it's
achieved
Loki.
the goal
He'll come back.
that he started with in the beginning of movie down to what he said he was going to do after he accomplished it, which was sit back and watch the sunrise on a grateful galaxy. So
I don't know about the grateful part just yet.
maybe not just yet, but the thing is as a character, he is a fulfilled character. So
See, that's my side of them being they're actually dead. Is that he, for all intents and purposes, he was going to kill. I don't think he was. He didn't tell anybody. Oh, I'm just going to create another universe and put everybody over there.
He didn't. He
Done.
might not have thought about that, but the Infinity Stones may have the capability to just do that.
We don't
Maybe
know.
he's like, I want to think about it. The Infinity Stones were there in the creation of the universe, not the destruction of the universe. So if you think about it, the Infinity Stones going boom, everybody's dead, might not mean everybody's dead in reality. It could mean that it created something new and gave them a new place to go. From what I heard, and I know that the Infinity Stones have some crazy, funky powers, and they can kill people. I'm not saying it's impossible that they're all dead. I'm saying that it's unlikely that they're all dead.
anything, the soul gem can literally it holds souls.
Right.
So if anything, for me, here's this to add on to your universe theory, but put a little twist on it. They're not dead, but they're not in the universe. They're all in the Soul Stone.
That could be it too. If they're all in the Soul Stone, then
Because
they
in the
wouldn't have
comics,
to-
Gamora, Adam Warlock, who you don't know,
I don't know that person.
and a third character I can't remember, they were in the Soul Stone, which is meant to have like a pocket dimension or like another plane, where it's meant to be like a peaceful utopia place,
Right.
but for
Maybe that's what they're planning on.
Yeah, that's it.
They're all
That's
in
what-
there.
They're
that's what
all
I'm
in the
thinking.
Soul Stones,
They're
so-
all half the universe is contained in the Soul Stone, and I'm thinking maybe that's too much for the Soul Stone. The Soul Stone is probably going to crack.
I don't know. I feel like
I don't know about that.
They went on-
Remember,
Either that, or it's going to be people realize, like Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Gamora, or whoever realize. See, I'm thinking Gamora didn't die when she fell. The Soul Stone snatched her up as well.
But
because she was right there.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe they killed off Gamora.
Which was actually a very sad but kind of beautiful death, was especially which gave some humanity to Thanos.
Thanos is not
in
a
his
monster.
mind. In his
Right.
mind, he.
and that's
truly-
what I love about Thanos.
That's
Thanos
what I
isn't
love
a
about
monster.
him. He's
and
not
that's
a
why
monster.
But
He's
anyway,
an interesting
He's
villain.
actually a really good dad
so
to Gamora.
right.
you
To
guys are gonna be
Gamora.
on the parallel universe. I'm gonna be everybody's in the Soul Stone. That's where they are, because they weren't
Well, I mean,
killed.
I don't know if
But
we're on two
I'm
separate.
not saying that that's unlikely either.
I don't know if we're on two separate sides.
I think we're on the same
Well, I
side,
think
but
we're on the
mine's more of
same
like
side.
a.
You just have more detail. To
We're on the
yours.
same side, but we just have like two versions of what we think. Of like,
But-
they're not dead. They're
But,
just
Anyways,
somewhere else.
Captain
But-
Marvel.
Anyway, if you want to put them all in the same, oh, I'm sorry, but if you want to put them all in the same universe again, they've already broken a Infinity Stone. It's not.
It's possible.
It's possible to break another one.
They did break the Mind Stone, but also reversed.
No. You know
What?
where Captain Marvel gets her power from?
Where
The Soul Stone.
I felt like
No, Adam Warlock gets his power.
Adam
from the
gets
Soul
his
Stone.
power from the Soul Stone.
Yes,
That's
Adam
him.
Warlock gets the power from the Soul Stone. And remember what they said about the Mind Stone.
I also felt like
Scarlet
that's-
Witch got her power from the Mind Stone, which isn't canon, but that's how it happened in in this movie.
In my opinion, if they wanted to actually, I feel like if any of the stones were the ones, I felt like this was a mistake that I saw as soon as Thanos had reversed time to get
What?
the Mind Stone again. If they were going to break any of the stones, it probably should have been the Time Stone.
but
The thing is, the only reason they could break the Mind Stone
was
was
Scarlet
because
Witch's.
Scarlet Witch had the power from the Mind Stone.
Oh,
Which is why it makes a difference that Adam Warlock gets his power from the Soul
from
Stone.
the Soul Stone, right?
Because he can
That's-
break the Soul Stone.
Right, because the Hydra had had Loki's scepter,
Which
And-
was the Mind
But
Stone.
here's
Age of
the thing,
Ultron.
What would stop Thanos from reversing time again to get the Infinity Stone back?
The one person who knows how to use the Mind Stone better than anything. I mean, not the Mind Stone, but the Time Stone.
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange?
See,
I think he foresaw the only way
I'm
for Captain Marvel and Adam Warlock to show up is by Thanos winning.
now. I'm in the belief that I think with you, they're not going to defeat Thanos personally. In the event comic that this is kind of based on, Infinity Gauntlet, how Thanos is defeated is he fights Infinity, the literal embodiment of the universe. Gotta love comics. He defeats it and becomes the new embodiment of the universe. But that pulls his very being from his body. So his body's left with the gauntlet right there. Thanos doesn't remember that because he's like, I'm now literally the universe. Gamora's sister, Nebula.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the few people that have ever used the Soul Stone.
She was put into a state by Thanos as a gift to Lady Death herself. Nebula's put into a state of death and life, just this limbo state. She sees the Infinity Gauntlet like on his body, and it's just like, huh. Grabs it, picks it up, and uses the Time Stone to reverse time 24 hours before everything that happened in the event comic happens, before he kills off half the universe, and defeats Thanos. Because Thanos, in the ramp up throughout the comic, was still learning how to use the full power. I think it's the same thing in the movie. He still hasn't used the full power of the gauntlet, because as you see, he only uses one stone at a time.
That is true. He has not mixed
He
stones.
has never used them all at once.
Until he snaps his finger.
That's the only time he used it all at once.
And
I
it
think
broke
that's
the
very.
gauntlet.
I think that's very much
It did break the
a.
gauntlet.
I think it broke the gauntlet.
And I
don't
think
know
at
if
that
it's-
point it was very much a trial. Like,
But wait a
here
minute.
goes what happens. I don't fully know what's going to happen, but snap my fingers. He's just thinking everybody's
But
dead.
what about that beam he shot at Thor, like right before he ended up? killing half the universe. There were 5 colors on that beam.
I feel like
Unless if you think the Power Stone is chromatic, and then it just shoots like rainbow beams in people's faces.
with that, that's kind of like a build up to
Have
him
some of
snapping the
this.
fingers. I think it was just like him, like, I think everything is him testing out the full power.
My theory there is that maybe he was using all of the stones, but because you remember what Stormbreaker was, it was the only thing.
It was
could
really
defeat
the only
Thanos.
thing that could defeat Thanos. But
But
I think it can defeat Thanos if he doesn't have the gauntlet and all
well,
the
here's
stones.
the thing. I wasn't thinking about that. I think the Stormbreaker was not annihilated by the Infinity Stones.
No.
So I think Stormbreaker might be the only weapon to counteract Thanos' new weapon. But
For that, I think what's going to happen, my theory is they're not just going to pull off the gauntlet. They're going to like use Stormbreaker to cut his hand off with the gauntlet.
which is entirely possible. But what I'm thinking is that maybe when he shot the beam at Thor and Thor threw Stormbreaker at him, that he was using all of the stones. There's 6 stones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was using all of the stones, but maybe in separate instances.
Like he was firing like 6 beams.
He was firing 6 separate beams.
He was playing Dragon Ball where they like fire at different beams. They all just come
They
together.
all come together to form one big.
I think that would be a cool
And-
idea. I think that's a cool idea. Like he's only using all the stones, but he's using them separately
And they come together to
instead of at
form.
once.
And when he uses them all at once, that's when he was able to wipe out
The universe.
half of the universe.
I'm thinking of how, like, the gauntlet's technically broken. The stones aren't, but the gauntlet itself, which I think is like
Yeah.
sort of like a containment of the stones to be able to like tap into them
Kind
all
of.
at once.
I
I feel like it's something like this. The gauntlet's like there to hold the stones and keep them all together.
what I feel like it's like.
Because I feel like it's gonna be a thing where
Because
if
no
you bring
one
the stones
can-
together without the gauntlet, maybe they are like
Well, here's what I think. I think no one is strong enough, even
who
Thanos,
have all the
to
stones at
hold
once.
all of the Infinity Stones in their hand. The Gauntlet could be a way for Thanos to actually use the Infinity
Hell.
Stones without actually touching
Remember
them.
Guardians? They couldn't even hold the Power Stone without dying.
All of the Guardians, it took all of them to hold the Power Stone for like 10 seconds without dying.
Now think of this: the Power Stone, you couldn't. It took them all 6. Just force of will to contain
Mm-hmm.
the Power Stone. The Mind Stone was kept in a scepter
Right,
and then was put into a synthetic robot body.
right.
Well, it's probably made to specifically hold the stone. The Reality Stone was held in the ether. Nobody really held it at once. The Tesseract contained
Was in
the
the-
Space Stone. And the Time Stone was held
In a necklace.
In the
None of
Eye
those
of Agamemnon.
were held by
Fully
a
by-
physical person.
The only one was by the Power Stone, and we saw
Well,
what happened.
The thing about the Power Stone, though, is they did not even fully. They even them themselves could not contain it. They managed to stay alive despite it.
to
so-
just like keep it away from running. They were
So-
just like then you
Not to
dropped it.
mention the fact that you also have to keep in mind in this universe, Star-Lord
Is half a god.
is half god.
Right. But is he anymore though? Because he doesn't have any of his god powers.
He's not
anymore.
I think he's
Technically-
no longer able to tap into those. I think they're still there, but he's no longer able to tap into them with death of
Well, I mean,
ego.
he's still what he is. He's still not full human, but
Right.
I don't think he has the.
He just can't tap into those cosmic powers anymore.
But
but,
that doesn't mean they're,
Gone. They're like more than likely. My thought is with ego gone, they're kind of just locked away. Like they're there, but he just can't like get into his own mind
The point
to
is-
tap
Unless
into
if
them.
Quill ends up becoming sort of like a new ego, but like not quite like ego, but like maybe half of him,
Like a
Because
good
he-
ego.
kinda, and like being able to tap into those powers in the back of his head, if that's the case. But even being half god, he was not able to hold. He would not be able to hold the stone forever.
No.
no.
I don't
Probably
even
not.
think ego was strong enough to hold the stone forever. But
I think ego could probably, being a god, he could probably hold it the longest.
not forever.
Like he could probably hold it for maybe decades, maybe centuries, but eventually it would probably do something to him.
Probably. So
Like,
but that
like I think it would take like if he held it non-stop, it would definitely affect him. But him like maybe picking it up, using it, putting it down,
Well, also the
not touching it,
power
then picking it up.
stone, out of all of the stones,
is literal power.
is the most corruptive stone there is.
true. But I am completely under the like the impression that the gauntlet is more not really. It's more or less a way for him to hold the stones without actually touching the stones.
I think in your sense, it's like an oven mitt. It's like meant to protect you from heat.
Kind of, yeah. It's like a glorified oven mitt.
Which I actually have. Loot Crate sent out an oven mitt with.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I have it, but it doesn't actually work as an oven mitt. Loot Crate recalled it. Like if you actually hold hot surfaces with it, it would actually burn and not be useful. Like it wouldn't actually protect you.
Why would you release an oven mitt that doesn't work?
I'm pretty sure they just didn't realize it, and so they recalled it and be like, "Hey, we'll give you something of equal value," but I kept mine because I'm like, this thing's freaking awesome. I'm not going to use that as an oven mitt.
I wouldn't use it as an oven mitt anyways.
I was probably, if I remember, I probably would have worn it yesterday to the movie.
But
but I think like it's meant to be like as a containment of the stone's power. Like it's meant to be able as a focus and to hold the stone so that it doesn't like corrupt or just like the power stone destroy you.
right. I feel like it is more of a container in my headcanon because the stones can be like manipulated to do things by force of will. I'm assuming Thanos' force of will is
His will
strong enough to tell it to do something.
I mean,
but
his
not,
will to, like, his drive, his will to be like, I need these power stones to accomplish my goals.
Right.
Is so strong that it keeps the stones contained.
It keeps like I think that's all the gauntlet is. It's a container.
I think it works sort of like the Green Lantern ring, which is powered by will alone. That the stronger your will is, the stronger you are with the ring. I can see like how that also translates to what you're thinking is. The gauntlet is like that. Like if your will is strong enough, you could do anything.
Right. And if that theory is correct, then Thanos being able to tell all of the stones what to do is pretty impressive in of itself. But that's my take on the Infinity Gauntlet.
Someone attacking him to literally just be like, oh, you're stabbing me? Just gone.
Yeah.
Like, you're now ribbons.
Well, he has the reality gauntlet, too.
He has the reality gauntlet.
Which is one of the things...
He was pretty powerful with that on his own. Just the fact that he could just make reality show what his old planet, what Titan used to look like.
Uh-huh.
What the Nowhere. Also, what happened to the Collector?
We don't know.
Like, the fact
We
that
can
he was,
assume
like,
he's dead.
Like, he's...
But...
Like, I love that little bit of him just, like, in the thing, just being like, I'm like, to the audience, sorry, I'm just, like doing what he did.
Doing
Just,
the little
like,
wave.
like, his little, like, finger wave being like, I did this on purpose. Bye!
But, I feel like the Collector could be dead, but nothing's actually said about the Collector.
He's just gone for now.
As far as we know, he's just gone.
Probably joined his brother, the Grand Master.
What?
Oh, you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok. Have you seen
Thor, right?
Oh, yeah,
Have you
that was...
seen-
I also have not seen Thor Ragnarok.
Have you seen the
so-
trailers for it, at least? Jeff Goldblum's character?
Yeah.
That's the Grand Master. That is the Collector's brother.
Okay.
He collects warriors.
His
and
whole
makes
thing
them
is...
fight against each
Grand
other.
Master's whole thing is games, champions, all that. Being
That's fun.
like games, while Collector's just collecting unique things.
Right.
I think we need to wrap it up.
We've been going for like 40 minutes. I think we go at
In
least an
short,
hour.
it's a good movie, and you should see it.
We can at least go an hour. Just some comparisons. In the whole Hulk falling through Doctor Strange's place and then crashes to the ground does happen in the comics, but it's Silver Surfer playing the same role of Thanos is coming. We gotta fucking prepare.
I'm gonna let you guys take the comic part.
That's fair. That's fine. Daniel Rosie hasn't read Infinite Gauntlet either. I just know it from reviews.
So you're a pseudo nerd. You kind of know.
I've read a lot of comics, but I just haven't read the older event comics. Like I want to get Secret Wars and read it because if they go with the multiverse, the parallel universe thing, they could also set up the next the 5 or 6 Avenger being the Secret Wars. with the Beyonder, who is way stronger than Thanos.
I think it's going to be the Skrull.
I think Avengers 5 will be Skrulls. Like, Secret Invasion will be Avengers 5.
Just so you know, because I know you don't know who those are. They, at the beginning of the war, like when they start fighting them, they've already won.
Oh.
The Skrulls
Because
have the
they've been
ability
there
to
the whole time.
shapeshift. The Skrulls have the ability to shapeshift. They
and
can
copy powers.
and copy powers. They can copy powers, shapeshift. I think they take on some memory so they can just easily blend
I think
in.
we talked about this a while ago, not on
Podcast form.
but
Right. They have, in short, it would be an easy way for them to write out Steve Rogers.
They can easily write out Steve Rogers because I know Steve Rogers is. Chris Evans' contract
Evans
is done.
Wanting to be done.
Chris Hemsworth contract is done. Robert Downey Jr. is pretty much done. They could easily be like all of them who are just done.
Then you could have the new Avengers.
You could easily set up the new Miss Marvel after this Marvel's done. You could set up Miles Morales once Tom Holland is done.
I don't think Tom Holland will be done anytime soon. He's loving it.
Hell, you could have Beta Ray Bill be the new Thor, or you could have Jane Foster.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
They've set up Beta Ray Bill in Thor Ragnarok and Stormbreaker.
Beta Ray Bill is a alien who can use Thor's hammer.
Yeah, he told me
I've
a little bit about
talked
that
about
in
him
the
on the
car.
way here. I shouldn't have, but
I like
yeah,
him.
Stormbreaker
He's
is his weapon. He's probably like my favorite minor cosmic character is Beta Ray Bill, just because the 80s were weird for comics. They just went nuts.
Like comics got big again.
Like Golden Age when they started, things were weird. Then Silver Age, they
It's
kind of
always
like
been
leveled
weird.
out. Then the 80s when they kind of became the Bronze Age, I believe, things went nuts. They just went, you know what? You have like a horse-faced alien character who can hold Mjolnir, and his name is Beta Ray Bill, and his ship is called the Scuttlebutt. That is in fact true. His ship is named the Scuttlebutt, and I love that.
They could have Iron Man.
he was set up
War
in-
Machine become Iron Man, more or less.
They set up Thor Ragnarok, Beta Ray Bill, and Thor Ragnarok. He was going to make an appearance, but Kevin Feige said it wouldn't have done him justice. It would have been like a small scene, and people would have been almost as pissed as him not being in there.
True.
So I might as well just save him and do him better. Like, give him...
And then one of the things is you have like 6 or 7 different Captain Americas.
Falcon took over Captain America.
Falcon takes over.
Winter
Not for
Soldier took
long.
over Captain America.
Winter Soldier is probably the one that's going to be most likely.
More than likely, Sebastian Stan will take over Captain America and be Winter Soldier Captain America. Although
Winter
America.
but they
Captain
can also,
Soldier.
But they can also set up the Falcon Falcon taking over as Captain America, which he
I don't
still
think they
is right
will.
now.
I don't know if they will.
I would love it. I think it would be awesome. He's a pretty cool Captain America.
No, because then you'll get all these Captain Falcon memes, and then it's not going to be...
All the movies are already memed plenty. Thanos was
I saw
memed.
a lot of Thanos memes before.
Thanos was turned into Homer
That's true.
a lot, and I love that. It was hilarious. But Marvel already is doing what it's usually creating a setup in their comics, a setup for the movies, which is a legacy. Again, I don't think they have Captain Marvel, who originally gave Captain Marvel her powers. But you have Captain Marvel, you have Miss Marvel in the comics, who's a girl who becomes an Inhuman, but takes over the name because she loves Miss Marvel.
Every time I hear like Captain Marvel, I keep thinking of Shazam, but
Yeah, it's
Shazam!
it's a little confusing.
because I think the only Captain Marvel I relatively thought I knew was Shazam, but
And he's now Shazam because of...
This was back in comics when you could have characters with 2 different names, but eventually they were like, hey.
he has to be Shazam now. He has to.
Yeah, Captain Marvel came first, I believe.
Yeah, Captain Marvel had Marvel.
Technically, he was Captain Marvel, and then Miss Marvel, who then took on a Captain Marvel name. But yeah, Infinity War, fucking awesome. You should definitely go see it. I think it's my new favorite Avengers
I think
movie.
it's mine
Definitely
too.
my favorite.
I mean, I was all for the Spider-Man movie.
Now,
I
I'm gonna-
love Avengers, the first one, but this does what that did, just on a larger scale. Avengers set up because before Avengers, nobody thought having a connected universe was possible. They're like, people done it before, they failed. You're not gonna do it, and Marvel fucking pulled
Marvel
off with
did.
Avengers. They're like, no, we're gonna do it.
I liked Age of Ultron better than the original Avengers. though.
I feel Age of Ultron tried to do the multiple characters, but didn't do it as well.
I feel like they killed off Quicksilver too fast.
That felt like a little too much. I think.
I
They
mean,
should
I
have kept
understand
Quicksilver around.
without Magneto, you have to put Quicksilver in a certain way. And
And
I
as-
didn't really like how they did it, but I did
As
like
far,
the
yeah,
character.
as far as we know, for the MCU, it's just they were given powers because of the stone.
Which I'm okay with.
That's okay, because Fox, Fox still has X-Men, but now that Disney owns Fox,
True.
Disney
Wolverine,
now owns
Wolverine's going to show up in the Avengers.
Disney now owns the TV and movie licenses for Fox material. So they have Fantastic Four, X-Men.
Deadpool.
They have Deadpool, which as far as I know, they're leaving alone. They're going to be.
Yeah, I don't think bringing Deadpool into this world would ever work.
Shazam definitely came first.
Oh, did he?
Artist C.C. Beck and writer Bill Parker created the character in 1939.
Ooh.
Captain Marvel came out in 1968.
Wow.
I think what happened, though, was they reimagined Shazam
I believe it. I can believe that they did that.
because everyone thinks DC and Marvel have this big fight going on.
They kind of
Up until the
Well,
movies.
they have a
I
more-
think the
they
fight
have a
is
more-
planned because
they-
it makes them money.
Well, right now they have more of a corporate rivalry.
Well, I mean, up until the movies, they weren't really that.
Hell,
They weren't fighting.
up
each
into the
other.
Right.
up into the 90s, they had crossovers between the two.
So I'm saying they weren't fighting each other. Now, when the
Superman-
movies came out,
Well, I
They
think it was
were-
the movie. I think it was just like sometime in the 90s when movies started becoming a thing more. That's when it started.
well, I don't really think they're still fighting. I think they're competing, but competing's good.
If they could just get their
Now,
sticks
if
out
it
of
could
their
be that they're
asses,
playing-
we could have crossovers again.
I think it could be that they're playing the publicity game.
That too.
That's a big corporate thing. If two companies look like they're
Yeah,
fighting
if we're
each
gonna
other,
say-
someone will pick a side.
Yeah, if we're gonna say who's winning, definitely Marvel.
Marvel's definitely
Well-
winning with the cinematic with their movies. DC has good TV. That's actual TV and not Netflix. Netflix, they have it. Marvel has it.
Agreed.
They also have Hulu. Well,
I don't watch
never mind.
TV,
Not
so-
Hulu. They got the Runaways now on Hulu, which I still haven't.
The
watched.
Marvel TV shows you need to watch. They are
Agents of
freaking
Shield.
great.
If you get through season 1, the rest of the seasons are pretty good. Marvel series are pretty good. The Netflix
You watch
series are pretty
freaking
good.
Daredevil?
It's damn good.
Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
You embarrassed me. You embarrassed me in front of her. Fucking my favorite line of that entire series. Fisk is the best villain of the Netflix series so far, next to the Purple Man.
Man, I'm
Killgrave.
just gonna go back and watch Heroes. Man.
Yeah, but that got bad pretty fast.
It got bad around season 3, but
Yeah.
He
But
did
you know
a
what?
great Kingpin.
I watched it all the
I'm
way
waiting
up
for them to
until
bring
fucking
Kingpin
season
back.
three.
I can't remember the actor, but
He
they
did
brought
a
him back
great
for season
Kingpin.
2, and he was still pretty threatening.
He did a really good Kingpin.
I think we should. I think this is it for Infinity War.
Oh, okay. So now that you say it's time to quit, we're gonna quit.
that is true.
No,
We-
I'm
we-
gonna say we're done, and we're just gonna keep going. That's the problem. We've been going for at least an hour now.
So I'm gonna walk out of the room. I'm gonna say, "Hey, watch Infinity War," and I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now. I'm exiting towards the door.
Stage right.
The door is open, stage left, in my opinion.
Exit
It
stage
depends
left.
on which way you're looking at it. Goodbye.
And we've lost him.
I forgot my phone.
I mean, we can discuss the more Marvel as its own thing, separate from Infinity War, because I want to have a discussion of everything.
Cat's gonna break me for slamming the door.
Probably.
She's gonna come. She's not even gonna walk in. She's just gonna like punch there,
She's
grab
gonna
you, and
punch
pull you out.
the door out to get me for slamming the door.
I think
But-
think we can definitely have more conversations, but I think for now,
For now, this should be it, though. I
As
feel
beginning
we
for our podcast, it's a good start.
I think it's fine.
But yeah, definitely Infinity War is probably the best Avengers, probably the best Marvel movie
I
so
will say
far.
one thing I want to do.
should. Wait, are we still rolling?
Yeah, we're still
We're
rolling.
still going.
Alright.
Go on.
I think one thing I do
Yes.
want to do.
I'm Tim.
You guys can, you guys, if you like this comment, but
We have to think of a name for the podcast. I don't want to
Do
just
you
be
kids
the
like
Meta Geek
video
podcast.
games? Me too. Yeah.
anyways,
I like
You know what
I think-
you know what you call this?
PlayStation.
what?
Breaking the meta.
I like that.
But I think
I like
Xbox
that.
too.
Okay, anyways, so what I'm thinking is, I think what would be a cool discussion board would be like
Do you guys like
discussing
Donkey Kong?
who would win in a fight.
Well,
What do you mean you don't like Donkey Kong?
Tim,
Yeah?
come back.
Oh, sorry.
Back to us. I think it would be pretty fun.
It'd be fun to have a podcast. Yeah. Well, you were saying like what a
Like
podcast?
who would win in a fight between the two.
Ooh.
I
I
mean, I
like
know
that.
a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
But this would all be matter of opinion.
I think we have. I think we'll have the Meta Geeks podcast, Breaking the Meta,
I like that.
and then we have like the fight podcast where we discuss
We'll come up with names later.
whoever. Just the audience can throw in who they want to fight, and we'll do it, and we'll see if they can win.
I mean, obviously, we're not going to animate it because we're suck at animating.
No,
but...
none of us can animate.
I mean, I can make a stick figure and we can
Yeah.
have really bad stick figure drawing.
But yeah,
Do.
but Infinity War, probably best Marvel movie so far.
I agree. I think it's the best Marvel movie so
And
far.
when part
I
2
like
comes
it.
out, I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna count them as two separate movies. I'm gonna count them as one.
I think Drax is on his like S game, so I feel like this
Batista
my
is a
favorite.
damn good like him as Drax is the
Oh
funniest
yeah,
thing.
Bautista is like my favorite Drax ever.
Also, I
I
want
haven't seen another Drax, but I think he's
I
my
want-
favorite Drax
I
ever.
want a buddy cop movie of Rocket and Winter Soldier.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because goddamn them together just in that one little bit was awesome.
I'm totally going to take that arm.
You know what? I want Winter
David
Soldier,
Bautista do a stand-up.
buddy cop with Rocket, and Thor. Like all three of them together.
Rabbit.
Yes, obviously the rabbit is the captain. And just Raccoon going, Rocky going, yeah, I am the captain.
Captain.
So you guys should listen to the captain. I was like, oh my god, yes, please.
All right, so thank you guys for listening and putting up with us, making it all the way through this. if you
our
made
little
this
experiment,
far.
our little toe in the water of podcasting. We want to try, but we want to do this again. So
I tried my best. I'm sorry.
we'll probably find
We'll add
another
more
topic
people.
we want to talk about,
Yeah,
and
make
we'll
a
probably
sports team.
talk about that. We'll probably bring more people on to
I'm making
discuss.
Well,
Where they
catch y'all
fucking
in
got.
the next video. And
I mean,
Hey, you can't
I
drop
wanna-
the F-bomb on YouTube.
I said we add to the list of top.
he did GD a second ago, so it's already going to get demonetized.
God damn, what are you doing?
Well,
God
fuck.
damn.
Well, fuck. We can add like just the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe on all list of discussion, which will probably take like 3 hours. Because it's a big universe.
You don't know how hard it was for me not to say your mom takes 3 hours.
But you just did.
At
I
once.
didn't say that.
Oh, right.
I'm just saying that
He
I almost
mentioned
said
it.
Well, you didn't say that.
No, I'm saying I almost said that.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Your mom mentioned it.
You're wrecked, son.
Anyways,
No.
well,
Bye, guys.
see you guys later before this gets even weirder.
Things are about to get crazy, so.
Bye.
Bye.
We're gonna hit stupid o'clock. We're definitely gonna hit stupid o'clock before this is over with.